Hello everyone. I made the last video about the book haul I had gotten from the St. Mark's bookshop, and it occurred to me that I had given short shrift, so to speak, to one of the items that I had spoken about, that item about New York, the Endless City, that I was given as a present by the young woman that was taking care of the store at the time. Let's take a look at that. New York, the Endless City, New York. So this is hello, New York. Our new store is now open. This is looks like an advertisement, actually. Yeah, here are some postcards. Songs my brothers taught me. This is an advertisement for a movie that's going to be filmed at the Film Forum. Songs my brothers taught me. Let's see this. Let's see what we have over here. Fireworks Wednesday. Fireworks Wednesday. These are things that she had given. Let's take a look at this. You can read this, as you can, how do they call it? Stop the recording and read it. Fireworks Wednesday. Let's see what else we have here. What do we got here? COS. To celebrate our arrival on 5th Avenue. COS. That must be a new store, a new bookstore. I guess it's coming around. And let's see, this is New York. This is a book, New York. And looks like art, various art from artists. This, what you hear now is Jonathan. He has a show, I forgot his last name. All right, anyway, these are various, Justin Peck, various photographs by artists. The name should come to me soon, anyway, of the person that has the show. This is a book that I had gotten a little while ago. William and his friends, about various a group of notable creatures in the Metropolitan Museum of Art. The Viking Press, 1936. So in other words, these are various objects in the Metropolitan Museum of Art that they're going to talk about. William. This is nearly 4,000 years ago. There lived in Egypt a steward named Senbi. When he died, figures of men and animals were placed in his tomb for his use in the afterlife. Some were to do his work, others to assure him of good hunting. Among them was this blue Fiance hippopotamus. The lotus flowers painted on its sides were to represent those that grew in its favorite haunts along the Nile, Egyptian. 1950 BC. So this is a children's book that was in the New York Public Library, and it had been deaccessioned for that it's for other people to enjoy later on. So anyway, these are various objects that are in the Metropolitan Museum. Faience figurines, figures of apes, are also found in the Egyptian tombs. This hard fellows glazed the blue of a robin's head. Egyptian 663, 525 BC. All right, here's another thing. More than 20 centuries after the Egyptian tomb figures were made, E.M. Sandoz, a sculptor of our own day, carved this hen. He chose a piece of gray marble flecked with white, perhaps to suggest soft feathers. French, 20th century. So that would be a more contemporary object that's found in the Metropolitan Museum of Art. Rosinate was the faithful steed that carried Don Quixote on his travels. Sancho Panza and his donkey shared their many adventures. This portrait in glass was made by Mariana von Alesch, American, 20th century. This spirited gazelle is poised like thistledown on its delicate hoofs. The ivory body was stained a bright brown, and the desert flint under its feet is dark. The flowers are the bluish green of the sagebrush. Egyptian, 1375 to 1350 BC. Anyway, it's very interesting that one can still find books like this. When one goes to various bookstores, you can pick up a nice find. This one I happened to have purchased a while back for only 49 cents, so that's pretty good deal. Nomad tribes once ranged the mountains and the high plateau of western Persia. We can imagine how dashing their horses looked in full regalia. This ibex formed the cheek piece of a bridle. The whole shows how it was fastened to the bit. Iranian, 9th or 6th century. So this is Iranian. This was the cheek piece of on a bridle, where one fastened the reins. Oh, the name of this, the man that is holding this show here is Jonathan Schwartz. The name just came to me. This is the Jonathan Schwartz show.
Jonathan Schwartz Sunday.
Camels are often found among the tomb figures in China. So this is Chinese here. Camels are often found among the tomb figures in China. Those with saddle packs were intended as burden carriers for the soul on its journey after death. Chinese 618-906. So in other words, it has the saddle packs that was intended as a burden carrier for the person, for the soul. So we see the saddle packs there. It's very interesting. have a few more now. A few more of these. Six Picciarelli brothers, all sculptors, have their studio under one roof. This seal is the work of Furio. It was first modeled in clay and then enlarged in black marble. American, the 20th century. That's these six Picciarelli brothers. They were all sculptors. That's very interesting. In Japan, small metal ornaments called menuki are worn on each side of the sword hilt. These quail are of gold, inlaid in copper, and beautifully chiseled. Japanese, 19th century. This team of oxen is part of a set of barnyard animals that were cast in bronze in the days. Let's get it to focus a little. Here we go. This team of oxen is part of a set of barnyard animals that were cast in bronze in the days of the Caesars. Perhaps they were used as playthings. Roman, 1st century BC, AD 1st century. Oh, that's interesting. So this is an old time, an ancient toy, an ancient plaything for children. Team of oxen. It was part of a set of barnyard animals. Let's continue on. In the 18th century, the potters seemed to enjoy modeling animals as a change from everlasting jugs and plates. This deer, with its brown back and creamy polka dots, was probably placed on a cottage mantel. English, 18th century. Oh, so this was made by a potter. And it was like a break from everlasting. They were always occupied with making jugs and plates. It was probably placed on a cottage mantel. This Delft cow is very gay indeed. She has a bright blanket and garland, a curled up tail, and a frivolous eye. Dutch, 18th century. That's very interesting. So that's Delft work, Dutch, 18th century. Have to be very careful. The peccary is a wild animal, a cousin of our domestic pig. This statue was carved by George Hilbert directly from a block of black granite, French, 20th century. So this was carved directly from a block of black granite by George Hilbert. Figures of lions are often used to guard a gate. The marble in this one is mottled gray, brown and yellow, and suggests a real lion's tawny coat. Chinese, 618 to 906. So figures of lions are often used to guard a gate. That's very interesting. Here we have an elevator.